Welcome, everyone, to the Leadership Florida Leadership Exchange podcast, hosted by Leadership Florida, but also sponsored by Sunshine Ace Hardware. And my special guest today is Tal Siddique, who is a Manatee County Commissioner. So excited. I think you may be my first elected official. Welcome, Tal.
Thank you so much for having me, Wendy.
It's going to be great to have this conversation today. And I want to always start out with a little promotion for our sponsor, Sunshine Ace Hardware, where we all know their motto: Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. So, with that theme in mind, I want you to finish this sentence. Manatee County is the place with.
The best place to live, work, and play.
Okay, now them's fighting words. You're going to get a lot of your colleagues. They're going to argue with you. So you're going to have a chance today in the podcast to prove that that is correct. And I just had an opportunity last week to visit, so I'm a little partial with you. I think it is absolutely a beautiful place to live, work, and play as well. So with that in mind, let's do kind of a high level overview of Manatee County. We're also going to talk a little bit today about the Bradenton Area Convention Center, which I also had the opportunity to visit, which is beautiful. But give me a little bit of an overview of Manatee County, if you will, from your perspective, and, tell us about it.
Yeah, so as a county commissioner, I represent the western part of our county, which includes our beautiful islands from Longboat Key to Anna Maria. But Manatee County sits on the west central coast of Florida, just 45 minutes to an hour south of Tampa. We're about, certainly like a lot of coastal counties, one of the fastest growing in the state of Florida. We have about 407, almost 470,000 people living in the county now and have a little bit of everything. Beautiful beaches, great urban landscapes, and beautiful farmland. Two-thirds of Manatee County is still agricultural, and we still have a number of large-scale working farms. In fact, we have some new strawberry farms operations moving down from Plant City. So lots of growth there, lots of growth in many places as well. So we're very proud of our community and certainly great happy to see the economic development that's happened here in the last, well, since the pandemic, really.
It's really been growing. I had the opportunity to bring my family and stay at Anna Maria Island last year. And oh my goodness, we stayed in a beautiful home. We rented on the beach. It was beautiful. We got in our golf cart. We drove around to restaurants and shops. I don't even think, once we parked our car, I don't even think we got back in the car. It was a wonderful experience. Last week, I also saw you at the brand new, oh, it was so beautiful, the Bradenton Area Convention Bureau, which also has a center, which also has a hotel with it. Tell me a little bit about that and what your plans are for that gorgeous new facility you have.
No, thank you so much. And that education class event was absolutely incredible. So I was very glad to see Leadership Florida be there. You know, the convention center for us and the renovation there, the $54 million renovation, really caps off decades of work by this board and more importantly, our convention center and business community in wanting to take advantage of a unique location we have. No, between Tampa to and Sarasota, we're the only convention center of this size with a hotel connected to it, with quick and easy access to an airport, and very soon in the near future, a ferry as well. So we wanted to take what was an aging building, an aging area, underserved area, and with the help of a great group of developers with who opened the Palmetto Marriott Resort and Spa, the only one on the West Coast, we wanted to find a way to also enhance and beautify the building. So now we have, just get my math right here, 95,000 square feet of meeting space. It can house up to 3,800 guests, four large breakout rooms and seven different configurations there. And it connects right to a 258 room Palmetto Marriott Resort and Spa facility, which has been a real game changer for us. I think a lot of conventions conferences. We're really waiting on 20 FY27 this year to come up and well, this fiscal year to come in and visit us. So we're very excited to have people come in now.
You have an advantage that a lot of communities your size and mine, I live in Tallahassee, as you know, don't have. And that is a hotel that is connected to and linked to the convention center. Our larger cities do have that advantage in some cases, but not our medium sized cities don't always have that. So that in it of itself is a great vision on your part and of your community's part and your community leaders, and a great investment that is being made there. You're going to see a great return on investment there, to have that connection where you're not driving in, you park one place, you attend your conference. I also heard that hotel's beautiful and there's a beautiful rooftop
Oh yeah.
experience there as well, with some of the best vistas and that you've got in your entire county. So good luck with that. It's going to be great. I hope to return at a conference one day soon, or stay in the hotel maybe. So that'll be a wonderful opportunity. So there's a lot going on in counties across Florida. We're seeing a lot of growth. We're seeing, continued growth, continued expansion, improvements in infrastructure, improvements in our roads, our retail, restaurants, other things. What do you feel like is hot and trending right now in your community that you're proud of, and that, or that you're seeing that? I'll ask you about challenges in a minute, but what are you seeing right now that's trending, that uh, addressing?
I'd say the biggest thing we've been working to address is economic development, specifically in the area of working to provide a hand up to our residents that are falling behind with the high cost of living, even before gas prices hit $4 and the current economic environment. But we've been working very hard as a board to promote and work hand in hand to see the market build affordable housing, which we think we're making progress on. In fact, our county's affordable housing incentives predate Live Local at the state. And in some cases, just to brag a bit, I think they're a little bit better because they target a lower economic threshold than the state does. So we're trying to target even more than needy folks. And the developers are responding. They actually want to build housing at that level where you're you're not serving people who can make 120% of the median income, but 80%, which in our area is a lot less than $100,000. So we're working there. We're working. We just opened a brand new recovery center with Helping Up Mission to help some of our residents who are struggling with addiction get on the path to becoming productive citizens again. And working with our sheriff's office, we're working to expand shelter capacity. One of the new things we're going to be unveiling next week is an effort to invest in education, and that's something I've been working to spearhead because we have, our whole county's a system. And so if we're able to work at the bottom level to ensure there's some kind of safety net, and we're able to come up here at the top and say, okay, now that you're in a stable position, here's some workforce and affordable housing you can get to. Well, somewhere in between there, you also have to make sure they can afford that housing and have a good job and education. So we're working on a proposal with the State College of Florida to provide scholarships to all students to all high school graduates of Manatee County to go to SCF for free. The other thing I'm looking to invest in is apprenticeships. And so not everyone wants to go to college, not everyone can, which is fine. And one of the challenges in our community and statewide has been to attract new businesses and industries, manufacturing in particular. The number one thing I hear from businesses is we don't have the labor pool to support them. And so, working with Career Source, we're trying to increase the amount of registered apprenticeships, which give you a real credential that you can take anywhere, and ideally take that to invest in these apprenticeships to a point where businesses with high paying jobs will want to move here. So that's one of the biggest things we're working on is this whole economic development strategy of building affordable, of ensuring there's a good safety net, having workforce development and education support our community, and then of course giving stability with affordable housing. Those are the hot items in the county.
What's important about what you just said is you're focusing on individuals so that you can have a hand up, not a handout, give them those wraparound services. But it also supports your employers, because restaurants, retail, others, they are struggling to find reliable, consistent employees, because many of their workforce are dealing with homelessness, hunger, transportation, and other issues. So if you can work together as a community to try to provide all those wraparound services, everyone wins. The employer wins, the employee wins, they can get jobs, they can keep their jobs. The fact that you are addressing this is really important, and it's going to help everyone in your community. And you're not alone in this. We're all dealing with it. Doesn't matter how small, big, or in between we are. So it's really important that I love that you're focused on this. So you talked a little bit about challenges. That's certainly one of them. What as let's talk about like a guest as me, a tourist when I came through. I know that it's got to be growing, right? You're seeing a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of tourists coming through. Um, what are you doing to think about those patterns, the impact on neighborhoods? Everybody's impacted. It's good because it's good for business. Some of the local residents are like, okay, I'm here now. We need to watch the traffic is getting big. I have to wait in line to get into a restaurant. How is that as a challenge? How are you feeling about that as a challenge for the tug between residents and tourism? I know you've got to deal with that all the time.
Oh, all the time. I had two town halls on Longboat Key just talking about this. So
Really?
I think there's a natural tension in any tourist town that has experienced this kind of growth. I was actually in Alaska this summer on a vacation on a cruise with my family, and there are whole towns where they import workers. Actually, a lot from Fort Myers. I don't know. There must be a good talent agency in Fort
Wow.
Myers bringing people to Alaska to work, but there are whole towns there that realize that that they don't have an economy without tourism, and that I think that's Manatee County, to be honest. I mean, the two pillars of the economy for 100 plus years have been agriculture and tourism, and to this day, actually, the top three industries now are construction, healthcare, and tourism. So
Hmm.
tourism has still not lost its top spot. How do you address the tension, the challenges, especially when, truth be told, we don't really need to work hard to advertise our area? I mean, we're always ranked, whether it's Siesta Key or Anna Maria Island or Longboat, the best beach in the country, the Florida, the universe.
Yes.
It changes scale every time I see an article. I think we just have to come up with new and novel ways to move people around. We implemented the ferry system a couple of years ago with tourist dollars because we realized uh, it's not fun sitting in traffic on these old bridges that have been around since 1955. And we're working to
Mhm.
replace the bridges there so the flow will be better starting this year, the two that go out to the island. But we we have to make sure that we're not turning tourists away, because what makes Anna Maria and this area unique is there aren't any chains. There aren't many chains on the islands. They're
Mm.
all local businesses. You don't come to Anna Maria and see a Starbucks or or a Dunkin' Donuts. You see local businesses and
Mhm.
restaurants. Um, and but in order to preserve that, they have to have a healthy balance of tourists, because otherwise the chains will come because they're the only ones who can afford a downturn in the market. And
Right.
25 was a bad year. I mean, we were fully recovered from Hurricane Helene and Milton, but I had businesses who were desperate for advertising for people, and there are just some places that were this close to closing. I saw two GoFundMe's. Helped one just to keep a business afloat to pay the rent. So
Wow.
at the end of the day, what I tell people is, look, our economy is built in tourism, and these are your neighbors. They're literally, a lot of the people that run businesses live in my district, and I knocked their doors during the campaign, and so I see it as helping our community and wanting to promote tourism and not see our local businesses suffer. And I don't have a problem with chains, but it's just a different feel.
Yeah.
So enhancing multimodal transportation with the ferry. We're trying to build out trail networks so that if you've ever been on Sanibel Island, they have a beautiful trail network there. You don't even have to go on a road. It's just you take a trail to get your bike around. You can do that. We're trying to do that on the island. And one thing I'm looking at is autonomous vehicle shuttles on our island as well. So I had the opportunity to go to Las Vegas recently, and over there on the strip, they have an Amazon company called Zoox, Zoox. And it's basically a cute little Nissan Soul cube looking thing with cameras on all four corners. And it's like a shuttle. It's a personalized shuttle. You call on your phone with an app. It drives itself. and it drives itself. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Um, and so I'm thinking to myself, that in and of itself is a tourist attraction, but it's also getting people off the road, and
Hmm.
it's free. They don't charge anything for it, and we don't charge anything for our trolleys. So that's something I'm looking at because we're actually seeing a shortage of bus drivers that can drive our trolleys in the island. And so I'm looking at ways we can introduce autonomous vehicle public transit solutions that can take tourists around, provide more reliable service to our community, um, and serve as an attraction in and of itself.
That is so forward thinking. I want to transition to you a bit, Tal, as my final question. You are a wonderful leader. We're so happy to have you in Leadership Florida as one of our members. And I love watching you shine as a younger leader, too. I'm going to pick on your age because you're a lot younger than me. But I love seeing someone in elected office as young and youthful as you are with such fresh ideas. What do you think communities are looking for in a leader and today? And tell us a little bit about your leadership philosophy as an individual that's decided to run for office successfully.
My perspective from the 2024 campaign cycle where I came in is that people at the local level of government, and I think inherently in all levels, they want to see good people represent them and do a good job, and not distract from the reasons for why they were elected, which is to make the quality of life for the residents better than the day that they than the day before. We're still able to plug to move things along and get and deliver people services that they need. We're able to help people with utilities issues. We're able to fix roads, rebuild them, resurface them, provide public transit, take out the trash in a reliable cycle, get people on ferries to and from the island, and help with permitting and and a myriad of other things with local government. So that's what I get out of what I think people want to see in elected leaders is people who take the job seriously and going for the right reasons, not for the views on social media, various television news networks, but to do a good job and pass good policy. As far as my view on my philosophy on leadership, I think a good leader knows that they have a lot more to learn still. Maybe it's just because I come from the technology industry where, as a software engineer and programmer, I was always having to work hard to keep up with changing technology, and now AI, it's even more crazy now. But when I got in as a commissioner, I knew about the things I wanted to focus on. So I was very very happy to see that the University of Florida and the Florida Association of Counties with the Institute of County Government provide opportunities for continuous learning. So my first year, completed the Certified County Commissioner course. I'm currently wrapping up the Advanced County Commissioner Level 1 course. There's another one coming up. And I've just learned so much from that. My first year in office, sometimes banging my head against the wall, but I I love it. I think good leaders need to recognize that no matter who you are, you still have much to learn. And if you're not learning, if you're not making mistakes and learning from them, then you'll be a poor leader. You'll create you'll create stagnancy at the very top, which will bleed down into the rest of the organization. So that's how I see leadership. It's a continuous process of learning and trying to be better, but recognizing your faults and not hiding from them, embracing them. I tell people regularly at town halls and in the board meetings, I don't know something. I'm not the best at this, but I'm not trying to be either. I have a lot of great people around me that I try to learn from too.
Tal, I have spoken to elected officials in all 50 states in my federal position before this one, in hundreds of communities and cities. And I cannot tell you that I've ever heard an elected official say that their priority was to listen to others. And I love hearing that, especially for someone as youthful and young as you and your eagerness to want to learn more. That is so refreshing. Don't ever change. That's wonderful. And it's probably why you got elected with ease and why you'll stay elected because you have that approach. And, they say we have 2 ears and one mouth for a good reason. And I think that is true here. So I love hearing that. This has been a wonderful opportunity to hear from you, to get to know a little bit more about Manatee County, the convention center, the exciting things going on in your beautiful, beautiful community, and that I've witnessed personally and I know to be true. So it's really great. Thank you, Tal.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
That was a great conversation with Tal Siddique, who is a county commissioner from Manatee County and a member of Leadership Florida's Connect Class 14 and from the Calusa region. Oh, he covered a lot of wonderful things in his role as a county commissioner. And one of the things is Manatee County is one of the fastest growing counties in Florida, nearly 470,000 people living in the county. And they've just done a $54 million renovation of the Bradenton Area Convention Center, which I had the opportunity of visiting recently, and it is gorgeous. It also has connected to it a 250 room Marriott with what I hear is a beautiful vista on the rooftop there. And they've got 95,000 square feet of meeting space in that new center. It's just really great. He talked about tourism, that being a pillar of the economy, their ferry systems that they're using, so creative. They're thinking about creative ways to transport people in a growing area. So, what a great conversation. Just been great to talk about Manatee County with the Leadership Florida podcast called The Leadership Exchange, sponsored by Sunshine Ace Hardware.